Hello FPL managers, today we've got the wildcard guide for Game Week 8. In today's video we'll look over a variety of topics regarding the wildcard this week, as I'm sure many managers will be pressing that button. If you guys want to get the extra edge this FPL season, then click the top link in the description to get yourself 65% off Fantasy Football Fixed Premium, and also get yourselves our free strategy guide. So just before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to show support for the channel, as we're trying to hit 7k subs by Game Week 10, and also click that notification bell so you guys don't miss any future uploads. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So as the first main talking point of the wildcard guide video is of course team formations. There are a variety of choices that you can go with when you're choosing your wildcard, but these are three that we have choose as the preferred options. The first one is the typical 3-4-3 formation, which does allow you to have a stronger midfield and forward line compared to your defence, as you only have 3 playing defenders. With the likes of Chelsea and Manchester City have very good defensive fixtures coming up, it could be a good chance to go premium on those choices and even combine them with Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. So if you are starting with a back three, a viable choice could be go to the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Rudiger or Cancelo. And then of course with 4 midfielders and 3 attackers, it does give you that extra flexibility, as having 3 attackers can allow you to change formation fairly easily. The 4-4-2 formation is another fairly solid one which does have 4 defenders and still has the same amount of midfielders as the first formation. If you are going with the 4-4-2, you would look to be strengthening your defence with either going for a second Chelsea or Man City defender. And as the 3-5-2 formation, this is another fairly viable choice, with many midfielders coming into good fixtures coming up. With Arsenal having some fairly good fixtures, Bukayo Saka is a decent choice. Also Mbeumo and Gallagher at around that £5.5 million price tag are also very good options. Or you could even go with any Everton midfielder such as the likes of Doucouré or Demarai Gray. Once again, since you are going for many of these cheap midfield options, it does give you extra money to spend in defence, so you should be able to go with triple premium options in Alexander-Arnold, Rudiger and Cancelo. When you are building your wildcard, it is key to maximise the strength of your squad, so here are 9 players to target for your teams. The first player is Mo Salah, and he is almost an essential option regardless of the fixtures, as he did get himself 13 points against Manchester City in Game Week 7. He has been in such great form this season, already recording 6 goals, and he is definitely a necessary FPL asset, as he always presents a good captaincy choice. Moving on to another premium player in Romelu Lukaku, he faces Brentford away in Game Week 8, which is a great fixture, and then has 3 very good fixtures after that as well, so I definitely think with Chelsea's strong upcoming fixtures, Lukaku is still a very nice choice. He has been slowly disappointing of late and did pick up an injury in the internationals over the break, but hopefully he should be good to go for Game Week 8, and he will be getting amongst the goals over the next 4 games, I certainly think. Antonio Rudiger is another Chelsea asset to cash in on that nice fixture swing, as he is one that is looking fairly nailed in that Chelsea defence, not missing a minute so far this season. Aaron Ramsdale could be a great goalkeeper choice, as Arsenal have some very nice fixtures, starting off with Crystal Palace at home in Game Week 8, which is looking fairly nice for a potential clean sheet. Also at just £4.6 million, he is probably the best £4.5 to £5 million keeper at the moment, with Arsenal's very strong defensive form recently. Rafinha is another very necessary mid-price midfielder option, as Leeds still have some nice upcoming fixtures and Rafinha is looking very threatening. He is another one that is a slight doubt for Game Week 8, but even if he does miss Game Week 8, he still has 3 very good fixtures after that, so I definitely think at around 6.5 million he's such a great choice. Mikel Antonio is another one that should be necessary for these squads, as he is a very strong forward option, as despite West Ham's slightly difficult upcoming fixtures, Everton away in Game Week 8 is still a good match. The 2 Man City assets of João Cancelo and Phil Foden are in there to capitalise on the next 3 matches, as I'm sure these 2 players will be getting fairly decent starting minutes and should be reaping plenty of FPL points. Foden did get himself a goal in his most recent match against Liverpool and is back to scoring ways, also picking himself up a couple of assists for England during midweek, and also João Cancelo is one of the highest scoring defenders so far this year and is getting into some very nice attacking positions. Raul Jimenez is the Wolves asset there, as he is also presenting himself as a decent forward choice. You could also go with Hwang Hee-chan, but Jimenez does look to provide the more consistent returns and has produced 18 points in his last 2 matches. And as the third main discussion point coming in with the wildcard guide is of course going 2 versus 3 premium options. Obviously with 2 or 3 premiums, the dynamic of your squad is totally changed, and it can definitely increase or decrease your squad flexibility. With 2 premium options priced around from £9 to £12.5 million, it does allow to have a more well-rounded squad, as it does give you increased flexibility to have strong positions elsewhere on the pitch. For example, if you go with the likes of Salah and Lukaku, you still should have plenty of funds to be able to spread around the rest of your squad and give you a more well-rounded and well-balanced team. This could also be especially beneficial with many good premium defenders coming into nice options such as the likes of Cancelo or Rudiger. Also, Trent Alexander-Arnold is another good premium option that you should be able to afford in defence if you don't want to go for the three main premiums in midfield and attack. The only minus is with the two premium options you do have less captaincy picks, as by having three premiums you do have that extra captaincy selection which does later optimize that captaincy pick every week. The main talking points with three premiums is that you do have decreased squad depth, because of course a lot of money is being spent up by three players which doesn't later have as well rounded squad, but with many good 5.5 to 6 million pound midfielders being valid options at the moment, such as the likes of Mbeumo or Gallagher or even any Everton midfielder, it could be a good choice. Also, these three players does later have a decent consistent point source, as many premium options should be relied upon to get themselves fairly consistent returns. As I touched on before, you should have more captaincy choices, which will of course allow you to optimize that captaincy score every single week, as you should be targeting the best fixtures there. Also, building on the consistent point source dot point, the higher certainty points increase does mean that more players are going to have a high chance of getting points, as premium options do tend to provide fairly consistent returns, which should give you a fairly decent overall score every single week. It of course does later rely less on differential mid-price players and rely more on the consistent performance of the big boys, and according to the Twitter poll, 56% of managers are going with 3 premiums over 2 premiums. So that's what we've got for today for the wildcard guide of Game Week 8. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to show support for the channel as we're trying to hit 7k subs by Game Week 10, and also click that notification bell so you guys don't miss any future uploads, and leave a comment of what you guys thought of this video and are you guys pressing the wildcard button this game week. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.